The solar eclipse that happened in 2024 was in April on the 8th. It happened at 9 degrees of Aries. And it was all about authenticity. Being true to yourself. Being courageous. Being assertive. Being initiative. Being bold. Taking risks and living a great life. In this episode of the Cosmic Sky Podcast, I will be discussing what all 12 signs needed to know about this solar eclipse happening in Aries. Timestamps is in the description. If you don't know your sun and rising sign, you can go to astro.com and find that information out. Please enjoy. And if they're not in this video, they're in the description. Whatever platform you're listening to this off of, they're there. Let's start out with Aries. Now, Aries, how is this eclipse impacting you? How did this eclipse impact you? How? I want to know. Are you willing to act on what the universe wants? Are you willing to follow the call of your soul to be free, to be your true self, to be your independent, free, biggest, brightest, best self that you can be? Are you willing to stand strong on the battlefield and throw the spear over to the other Confederate soldier and say, we want the slaves to be saved? You will stand up for that, and you will do whatever it takes to do the right thing, to stand up for all of that kind of thing going on. So you will act on that fence, you'll act on what needs to happen, and you will do what needs to be done to make the war win, to win the war. So what will you do to win the war, Aries? The universe is asking you to be assertive, put yourself first, be your individual self. And this doesn't necessarily mean ego and fighting. This could just be you being assertive, you being yourself. And Aries, who are you? Now, are you suppressing your anger, Aries? Are you suppressing that rage inside of you that has a lot of desire for appetite and behavior and strength and mojo and strong masculine energy? Are you suppressing that part of yourself that feels so rageful, that feels so passionate about what you are angry about, that you want to fight for, and that you want to stand up for yourself against, not in an ego way to take others down, but you're fighting for this because you feel passionate about this, and you're in your soul, in your courageous, truthful, authentic energy. How do you need to heal the rage and emotion going on inside of you to make sure that you can transmute it into the best possible way that it can be transmuted? So that when you get really, really mad about not getting enough food at the dinner table, you are fighting for this in a sovereign, authentic, heart-centered, loving way. You're fighting in a courageous way for love. And you're not doing it for others. Maybe you are. Whatever the motive is, you are allowing yourself to feel these emotions. You're allowing yourself to bring out these feelings. And it comes out of you. And you feel like you want to be yourself. And you want to let everybody know about it. You want to express this anger. You want to let others know about this anger. And boom, comes out. So, now any risks that you want to take action on it. Take chances, make mistakes. It's that phrase that Miss Frizzle said. Go out, make things happen, because Aries wants to take risks. Aries wants to try new things. Aries wants to live big and live bold. And where are you playing it small? Where are you not allowing yourself to live a big life? Live a fulfilling life? Where are you in your ego and you're keeping yourself small with the familiar way of going, with the familiar way of doing things, and your soul wants to take a risk, your soul wants to do something different? So now is the opportunity. If there's anything that you've been putting off, that you've been avoiding wanting to do, anything that you have avoided wanting to take action on because you're afraid of how others are going to think of it, how others are going to feel about it, if others are going to approve or not approve, well, don't base it off of others. Base it off of what you want. Focus on your own self and your own needs, what is true for you in regards to acting on your desires, where you're boldly taking action in a new direction. Okay, now, moving on to Taurus. Are you allowing yourself to be fully yourself? Are you allowing yourself to be worthy of being self-sufficient, of being independent and strong, to be able to take care of your own body, to take care of your health, to take care of everything going on in your life? How can you be fully yourself? How can you show that, yes, I can take care of myself? Because Taurus wants to feel empowered. It wants to feel a good sense of self-worth. So how can you show yourself that you don't need to rely on anybody else to take care of you, and you can focus on taking care of your own body, of your own life, of your own house, your own health, your own mental health, your own physical health, your own emotional health, and you are doing it all on your own with your own two hands. Imagine if that were the case. Imagine if you could be empowered to do that. Imagine how liberating that would be if you stop letting other people do everything for you. This is a slam dunk to me because, well, I don't want to even go there. Okay? That's a private area. Okay, I don't want to reveal that to you. But, anyway. You want to feel at peace. Being truly yourself can make you feel that. You may feel like, you're sitting on your desires. You're sitting on your energy. You're sitting on what you want to have happen in your life. You're sitting on what you want. And you realize that that's not working for you, right? Whereas sitting in a comfortable, marshmallowy castle land is not going to help you out. Aries is about physical energy. Get up and move, Taurus. Get up and move. Like, walk outside. Take action outside. Go for a run. Go for a jog. Take a walk. Do something physical to move your energy. Because Taurus can get so caught up in relaxing and enjoying the peaceful moment, just sitting but not moving. The energy. Aries is a physical sign. Aries wants movement and action and energy. So Taurus, get up, move energy, take a walk, exercise, push yourself. It's a very Aries thing, is to push yourself, to move the energy, to make things happen. And where are you staying in your house when you could probably miss out on opportunities to see an eclipse, to see something great. Take advantage of the opportunities to get outside of your house and really, really live big and make a big bold in the world and make a big move in the world and act on your desires, act on what you want, to take action on new opportunities, to act on what really calls you, really, really inspires you, really, really invites you to go in a direction of, I'm getting outside my house and I am seeing something with my own two eyes, nakedly, really, in the flesh. So that's a little thing to think about there. Now, Gemini, where are you saying what everyone wants you to say? And where can you say what you truly want to say? This is how you evolve, how you speak, how you communicate. Is by not saying what everybody else wants you to say. Because everybody else has their own opinions, has their own dilemmas in their own head, their own narratives that they play out in their head. It's very difficult for them to bring it down to a circular, spectral thing which is down to earth and says, my beliefs and my words and my communication is just like yours. No. Your communication and somebody else's communication is totally different. Very, very totally different. Different personality, different look, different whatever, makes for different communication. So, how can you separate yourself? Aries is about separation. Separate yourself from how others communicate and how you communicate. Because others are going to communicate in their own unique way. That's true for them. And you should do the same. Unity University. We're all different, but we're all the same. We're all embracing our own differences. We're all embracing our own quirks and uniquenesses. So, evolving means not saying what and how others want to say it. Now, with Gemini, where do you want to get out of the house? Where do you want to change it up? Where are you asked to do something different? Because if you're in a stuck-sided situation and you're just doing the same things over and over again, not making any change or not making any different array of anything going on, you are in your home doing the same things over and over again. Gemini wants variety. Gemini wants difference. Gemini wants newness. And it wants excitement, thrill. It just wants to have fun. It just wants to throw everything around and have fun, right? So you want to, have the spontaneous desire to explore your community. Go outside of your community. Explore what's going on in your local town, in your local place of work, to see what could really, really be going on, and what could I explore, and how could I expand my mind? And what are your values and your goals? Because if you're not clear on your values and what you want in this life, how can you go after them if you don't even know what you want? So it's time for you, Gemini, to know exactly what you want. Gemini is just in the sea of options, right? It looks at watermelon and pineapple and peach and mango and grapefruit, and it can't decide which one to choose, which one is the most refreshing, which one it craves most, right? because it's all these options. You don't know what to pick from. You don't know what direction to go down. You don't know how to shoot your arrow. And like I'm going to talk with Sagittarius about shooting your arrow in a direction which shows that you are decisive about what you want to do, what path you want to go down. So you may want to get clear on what matters to you so that you can not be so in the sea of options, because Gemini is about options. It is about the duality of life. So choosing and acting, the choosing comes before the acting. First you have to choose. First you have to be decisive. Not a Gemini's best quality. So that is sort of to think about, because you only have one life. And I think that we all want to see our ideas manifested. So you can't just have the idea and have the vision. You've got to make it happen. If you want to experience it, you've got to make it happen for yourself. But first of all, you have to know what that is. You have to be clear on what it is. So that's Gemini. Cancer. Coochie, 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 coochie. You may be afraid to go out and take risks because, Cancer, you want to be in your home. You want to be in your own comfortable little environment. You don't want to go out. You don't want to make, veer away from that because it's so comfortable, because it's so cozy. But in order to make changes in your life, to make you feel more alive, make you feel more fulfilled, you may need to get outside of the home a little bit and do something new. Get outside of your own comfortable little box and change it up. Do something totally different that you've never done before. What would it be like if you did that, Cancer? What if it would be like if you went outside of your home environment and you acted upon what you really wanted to do? That was a new risk. It was something totally different, something totally unique. That was like, wow, I didn't even think of this before. Like, came out of the blue. Like, all of a sudden, a brand new idea just got dropped into your mind. And now you're invited to test that idea out. Like, okay, I have the rubber, but what am I going to do to color this rubber? Am I going to put dirt or squid ink on it and stir it up in a pot and make it spread out? Like, you're being invited to test the groundworks with these new risks. Take a chance. Go beyond your fears. If you have any doubts or fears or any comfort zone, like getting out of your comfort zone of staying inside of your home and seeing what it's like to be exhilarating. Now, another piece that you may want to think about, this is just all invitations that you may, three of these might resonate. All three might resonate, two might resonate, or just one might resonate, or none of them might resonate. Who knows? I'm just listing these possibilities. They're all, like with these videos, they're all possibilities. So you may not feel at the time of the solar eclipse, or may not have felt like people in strong positions of power in your family had your best interests at heart. They were authoritative. They had the strong will. They were in charge. They did all the decisions. They were powerful. They were strong. They were top down. They were having all the power. And it dimmed out your own power, your own authenticity, your own sense of self-empowerment, your own authentic truth. Such as, all these things, and maybe not have felt a nurturing, safe, cozy position. may not have felt loved and protected by these people, guess what? They're going to fall. They're going to fall because the eclipse creates conditions where leaders do fall. So be prepared for somebody in a high position of power in your family to fall away. Now, what kind of loving family situations going on in your life do you feel like you truly belong in those situations? What kind of loving family situations do you feel that it is a matter of fact for you? That the loving family situations, this is really, really huge for you. And you may want to just consider this. Because if you don't feel connected, if you don't feel tied in, if you don't feel in a bond with these people, in a bond with your family, in a bond with these connections or whatever, then you're not going to feel at peace, you're not going to feel safe or, secure or, whatever. It's about being in family situations where, you feel like you feel connected, you feel warm, you feel nurtured, you feel loved, you feel held, you feel protected. That's really what it can come down to with these kind of situations, is creating this environment where this is the way that it is. Now, Leo, let's talk about Leo. So, open your heart, Leo. Open your heart to new, see what I just said? Open your art. Because Leo is creative, right? You create art from your heart. You use your heart to create art. Okay. So, where are you being invited to say yes? Answer your heart's true calling to the adventures that life has to offer. Travel, live big, go after what your heart wants, and really live that strong, motivated, very, very intense life. Now, what journey of authenticity are you being invited to walk down? Of being true to yourself, of being your sovereign self, of not being defined by what others want for you, not being defined by what the group wants for you, of going after your own goals, your own heart's desires, your own passions that feel true for you in your heart energy. What is your heart calling you? What lights your heart up? What on a day-to-day basis do you do that seems to just light you up from the inside, makes you feel so good, and makes you feel so alive and excited because you're being invited to do that? And if you don't have that, then I would say try things. Try things, and they may or may not light you up. They may or may not bring you love and heart energy and vitality and feelings of aliveness and excitement inside your heart. But when you can try different things, and when you can, be authentic to who you are, and, walk down these paths where the heart is really speaking to you in those kind of ways, you can really, really be open in that regard, and, be filled up. What really, really fills you up in your heart, really, really makes you want to eat this life alive. Maybe you're shouting your heart's calling from the rooftops. Maybe you're taking risks that feel exciting, exhilarating, that make you feel so alive. But your heart is calling you, Leo. Your heart is calling you to pursue what it really, really desires, to pursue what it really, really wants, to pursue what it's really, really about and passionate about. So, answer the call to say your heart, flip big, say yes, enjoy the eclipse. Virgo, this eclipse may have asked you to get out of your mind, your rational mind, that says on a wing to ding to ding, because the thing with Virgo is it's very, very difficult for Virgo to see past its sense of logic. Virgo often plans, overthinks, strategizes, goes back over, reviews, checks, does all this stuff, and doesn't necessarily trust that it's going to be okay, and goes back over like, wait, is this correct? Did I do this right? Is this detail over here right? What about over here? What did it? And it just goes back and forth with the whole overthinking thing, right? That's Virgo. And so how can you get out of this and trust that it's all going to be okay? Trust that the safety net will be built. Trust that when you go off the cliff, you've already have the parachute because you deliberately took the time to do that. So don't be so OCD. Trust that you've already got it accomplished. You know, this isn't to say just don't do anything because we're co-creators, right? You know, like you cannot sit down with your spirit guides and ask, can I have some money? Where's my money? Give me some money. No. You intend, you have the intention, you have the plan, and you go about your life with what it feels intuitively right, where you are empowered enough to create and co-create and manifest that money by yourself with the help of spirit with your own two hands. That is the practical spiritual belief. Okay? That's what I want to say. You know, your guides and your angels cannot really give you, I mean, can they really give you money? I mean, that's debatable. Maybe the universe can. Maybe the universe, money shows up. But, part of that is you co-creating. So, but that is to say, Virgo, this is about trusting your inner senses that tell you what to do and where to go in this sense of what feels right for you. What do you want to do? What feels aligned with yourself on a soul level? That's the direction that you want to go in. And, is your comfortable routine where you're doing the same things over and over and over and over and over again? Just repeating the same old narrative over and over and over in your head like a loop, like a hamster wheel that you're just going on and over and over and over? Like, are you repeating that same routine? That same thing happening once and then again and then again and then again. Are you, allowing yourself to take risks to get out of the stuck routine, to get out of that stuck way of being? It's keeping you small, that's keeping you from expanding, from growing, from really, really living a full, exciting, and exhilarated life, Virgo? What is holding you back from that? And before you get all in your head, before you get all up in logic, up in arms in your mind about logic, details, and structuring it out, maybe you want to just slow down, feel into your intuition. Going back to what I was saying about intuition, look at the details, where you're not just rushing in with your head and your mind and your logic and just making it happen without feeling what feels right. Like just going in a very, very left brain way, where you're just so sucked into the details and so sucked into the minutia, and you get your brain to be very, very adaptable and resilient and strong as iron, tough as iron, to where you completely cut out your intuition and your feeling nature. You completely go into concentration, detail-oriented focus, and this at this time will not serve you. Now, I'm all about Virgo, about taking care of your health, taking care of your body, being very, very conscious. Detail-oriented stuff that doesn't involve that, I mean, I'm a little bit apprehensive about it. Okay? I mean, I have Jupiter in Virgo, and if that comes naturally, then it comes naturally. But where do you need to feel as opposed to always think and plan and concentrate on and detail-orientedly focus on? That's sort of your wheelhouse at this time. Libra. There may be some wounds. This eclipse was conjunct Chiron to the minute, to the degree, hand in hand with Chiron. And so what wounds around relationship needed to be looked at, and how is it impacting you now? What wounds around not being fully yourself have you looked at, have come up to the surface for you? Libra defines itself through the other. It's like the other is a mirror to me. I know myself and my own quirks, my own traits, my own gifts, my own talents, and my own strengths and weaknesses through the other. And Libra wants to get educated on what the other wants, what the other values. And sometimes it can be a little bit like I'm getting myself so educated on the other that I'm not focusing on what I want, what I'm interested in, what I'm passionate about. So maybe there has been this dialogue growing up, or maybe this unworthiness with looking at the self and not like that's selfish, that's not caring for the other, that's not kind to the other. If I focus on what I want and this and that, like, no. Okay, no. It is you showing that you respect yourself. And then when you go to respect yourself, when you can respect yourself, you can respect others. Because resentment builds. If you don't feel like you can be fully authentically yourself, then there is this unhealthy dynamic that goes on in relationship with, that kind of dislike, this kind of disharmony. And Libra doesn't often want disharmony. Libra doesn't want disharmony. So, there you go. So, what wounds going on around that needed to be looked at, that needed to be solved, analyzed, reevaluated, going on there, with the wounds around, not being fully yourself, that's one thing. Then also, which goes hand in hand with this, is this whole going back to like suppressing. The next piece of this is emotions. What emotions have you suppressed? Suppressing all the work, suppressing doing the work to move through and feel what you're feeling, just for the sake of, I shouldn't express my emotions because it's a waste of time. I need to be productive. I need to get things done. I shouldn't express my emotions because the other's not going to like it. It's not socially acceptable. It's not classy. It's not professional. It's not, but it is inauthentic to not express your emotions in a inside out kind of way, to not be true about what you are feeling, Libra. So where are you keeping your emotions stuffed down and where do you need to bring the emotions up to be able to move through whatever you're feeling and to be able to let it out as in a way which is very, very important for you. I think that letting the emotions out is going to be huge for your evolution, huge for your own peace of mind, Libra. Is letting these emotions out is really going to help you out a lot in your own life when you allow yourself the freedom to do this and not be limited by social rules or socially acceptable. And naturally, the right person in relationship will understand, be empathetic, be open to you expressing your emotions and letting your emotions out. And they will support you and they will understand you and they will work with you with that. Now, this is about being individual, claiming your personal power, being true to yourself, not letting the other person take the power away from you. This is what this all goes back to. Being yourself, being in your power, knowing that you are in control of your own life and what you do and what you want to do in your life, what you feel that you need to do in your life on a soul level. You are in control of that. Don't let anybody else be in control of that. They don't get a say in that because they're not living your life. So you should be the one to run your life the way that you want to run it. It's ultimately up to you to run your life the way that you want to run it, because inside every Libra is an Aries. Is that free, authentic, courageous individual that just wants to be free and true to itself. So where do you need to say to this person if you feel like you're being overpowered, like, okay, hey, no, this is my life. I want to live it the way that is true for me to live it. And you're not going to take my power away. And I'm going to do this because I feel it's right, because I feel I need to, because I feel I want to. End of story there. Now, Scorpio. You are, in short, Scorpio, real and raw. This is who you are. And so can you act in response to your feelings? Can you not immaturely react? Were you just allowing what everybody says and what everybody does to get the better of you? You know, allowing what everybody says and does to get the better of you, Scorpio. You know, where you are, not, not tuning in and responding from a sovereign, kind, authentic, inside-out place where you're going, okay, this emotion needs to be expressed in a calm, controlled, and mature, and stable kind of way. And Scorpio, with the trigger, they can really, really react, but they're really quiet. I mean, they really feel things on a deep internal level, and they really keep a lot of it to themselves. So, you can, so you're being invited now to respond, not react. To make sure what you're initiating is on stable ground, that it doesn't lead you into a lot of chaos, a lot of turmoil, a lot of crisis. Because Scorpio is about that exhilaration, about that taking risk, and it can, destroy itself in that process. It can destroy itself in actually acting in the thing, because it goes through this thing and then it goes through this tunnel or whatever happens, and then this whole crisis happens, where then you act on this thing. And then all these bad things happen. All these horrible, negative, difficult things happen in your life. And so, this needs to be brought into balance with the other part of you that wants to eat this life alive. And you want to go through exciting, transformative, happy, positive, experiences that change you and transform you from the inside out. You want to take a risk. You would want to run on the top of a hill cliff where it looks like you're going to fall off, but this is you taking a risk. You want to, you are a big risk taker. You want to take risks that free you, make you feel excited and alive, but they do not disrupt your peace. They do not destroy yourself, your body, your physical health, your whatever. So be careful, be cautious, slow down, don't rush, don't destroy yourself, don't, be very, very mindful where you're going when you do these things, and not to, and not to, not to totally wipe yourself out, right? Because you don't want to wipe yourself out. So, you want to balance these two things out, because the opposite sign of Scorpio is Taurus. And Taurus is all about peace, security, stability. Valuing yourself enough to not do really, really destructive, mean, really, really bad, unhealthy things for yourself. It's all about prioritizing your peace, prioritizing your calm and your stability. So that is that. And Sagittarius. You may feel this quest to travel, explore, get in touch with your own true desires and wants in the process, Scorpio. Not just these ideas for, I want to go to this country, I want to do this, I want to have this idea, I want to have this left goal, I want to shoot my arrow over here, where you are actually getting in touch with, what mountains do you want to climb? What arrows do you want to shoot? What are your goals? I've been talking with Capricorn about goals. Like, what is true for you? Getting clear on what you want. Getting clear on what your truth is. You have to get clear on that in order to be then true to yourself, in order to live out your truth. You have to get in touch with what that truth actually is, what it's actually about, getting in touch with what you really want. And if you're not clear on that, then how do you expect to go about achieving what you want, going after the goals that you want, Sagittarius? So how can you, live out your truth? And, but do you even know what your truth even is? Because it begins knowing what it is, to be able to live it out fully and live it out authentically. Now, Capricorn, there is this courage here to go after your goals. Let's talk about goals with Capricorn. That's the whole conversation. Courage to go after them with commitment and dedication. With the courage to put one foot in front of the other. Because Capricorn's the mountain goat. It puts one foot in front of the other, climbs up the mountain very, very courageously. It goes one step at a time. It cautiously, deliberately puts one foot in front of the other, and it doesn't give up. But, I have a mountain, and I'm putting in the work, and I'm persisting, and climbing up this mountain, and getting to the top of it. So, you have the sort of, courage to, go after these goals with a lot of this, this tenacity. But maybe you go too heavily at your goals. Maybe you burn yourself out in the process and in the pursuit of going after these goals. And, you're just so tenacious with a desire to, you want to go after them, but you want to slow down because Mercury was retrograde at the time of the eclipse. So this was slowing down, reviewing, reflecting, not just rushing in head first to it. You just climb up the mountain, you just put the focus on, put the binders on, go about these goals really, really in a hard or very difficult way. And now you're being asked to slow down with these goals, and you're being asked to take your time and not just, I just want to get the goal achieved. It's just all that I want to do. I'm just gonna put my blinders on and just work so hard. And Capricorn can be workaholics. They can put their mind to something and they can really, really do it. But this represents an overdoing, an overextension of that energy. So rein it in, take it back, reflect, review, and what goals truly feel aligned for you. It's the other question I want to ask. What feels aligned with your soul? What feels aligned with your intuition? Because knowing that goal and achieving it with slowness, with patience, with the fact that you don't have to rush the process. You can take your time with achieving this goal, with going after it one step after another. And, doing it in that sense, with with pursuing the goals that are truly feel good to you, where you're not just these goals are just logical. These goals are just what my ego wants, what I ought to do, what I'm obligated to do, and not what I really want to do. So make sure that the goal feels right. Make sure that the goal feels safe. Not one that you're going to kill yourself and destroy yourself. Not one where you have to sacrifice your own peace, your own stability, your own sanity, even your own not biting off more than you can chew, not going beyond, going harder than you can go at it. I'm thinking right now, the Devil Wears Prada. That lady, had to just slave away and run around and go to all these places and do all these things for Miranda Presley, I think her name was. And, where she had to do this. And she said, I'm trying my best. And then the guy was like, oh no, you're not even trying. Just think about that. Think about if you work so hard to do something for somebody and then somebody said, you're not even trying. That is just unfeeling, uncold. That is not acknowledging all the effort that the person took to actually do the thing. Actually put in. It's you're not even trying. What am I supposed to do? Well, guess what? Maybe if you're not satisfied, then I'm not good enough. Maybe I shouldn't do it. Maybe I should take myself out of the situation. And I would say no passive aggression, but actually, I would say go passive aggressive if that means that you are keeping your peace, Capricorn. If that means that you're saying, no, I am not going to continue working for you. I'm not going to continue doing this because I tried my best and you're not appreciating it, so I'm not going to work for you anymore. And somebody else can do it, and I'm going to focus on my peace and focus on my valuing myself, respecting myself, and doing all that, being mean to myself and killing myself in the process of work is not the way to go. especially for somebody else. So that's Capricorn. Aquarius. This is all about collaborative work, where you are collaboratively connecting in an open-minded and loving way with other people. Because Aquarius is an air sign, Aquarius networks, Aquarius collaborates from one person to another. Being open-minded, connecting more, maybe not so much mentally, but more emotionally, could be part of this as well. And then the other thing is just becoming educated about privacy and about, opening up to privacy. I know it sounds very, very ironic to you, Aquarius, because, opening up, but becoming educated about, opening up to the idea of things being private, things being under lock and key. We are respecting each other's space. You're respecting each other's way of being, and way of respecting each other's perspective, and you're respecting somebody's privacy. I'm not just asking all these questions and wanting to know this information, but Aquarius can really, really not inhibit or control anybody, like come down to anybody. Can really, really respect, give them privacy, because you cannot have love without freedom. It is impossible to have love without allowing the person to be their individual self. You have to do that, and if you're truly loving somebody, you've got to do that. I'm just saying that, you can't have it any other way. You can't control, you can't dominate, you can't tell the person what you want and, do all of that. Like, there has to be this allowing for two people to be fully themselves. That's the reality of how relationships should work when it comes to you getting involved with another person here. So, becoming educated about that, as I said before, I'm repeating myself, and being practical. Where do you need to build up the goal one step at a time? We need to actually manifest it, because Aries wants to make it happen. Aries wants to go after it. Aries wants to have the drive and ambition to go after it. So take one step at a time. That things don't happen overnight, because with that Mars conjunct Saturn, things may feel like they're taking too slow, they're taking too long, they're not taking long enough, or short enough, so to speak, or not going fast enough, I should say, or it's not good enough because it's not fast enough, that kind of thing. So you may want to focus here on, building it up, one step in front of another, like a stair step, like a stepping stone, like one step and another step and another step, and be patient with it. Because in this 3D reality, things are going to take as long as they're going to be, because we live where we are not large and in charge. The universe is, so we are not the dominators. Spirit is in charge, and it will always deliver us what is in for our highest good, and not, what is not for our highest spiritual good, as we're all spiritual beings living experience. That's, what I believe. So, understanding that, that just not rushing the process, just not just pushing and forcing and doing all that, but having the courage to manifest at the same time. So, they're not, they're kind of very, very different in that sense. So then Pisces. Trust your intuition, Pisces. That's a simple answer I can tell you. To trust your intuition, to lean into your personal teacher, to follow you and guide you throughout this time, is your intuition. trusting your inner guide, trusting your divine support system, and because your intuition and your inner guides are your personal teachers. So you can really do that at this time and really make it happen for yourself when you can trust your gut, and you can follow what your intuition is calling you to act upon. That's really the key, and to flow with the goals that you want to achieve. Do not force these goals to move from one place to another peacefully, adaptably, to be in the flow of the universe, to allow the universe to sort of take you where it needs to go at the certain time, at the certain place. To not push for things to happen, not force for things to happen, but to flow with spirit, to adapt with spirit, to move with spirit, to do all of this, and to let go of attachment and becoming fixed, fixed toward the goals, going on, where you may be attached to having the goal be a certain way, having the goal come in a certain form, at a certain time, in a certain type of way. And so how can you let go of this this fixity with the goal being a certain way, and do what you do best, which is trusting in the divine, trusting spirit that the goal will be the way that it is. The end result of this goal will come out when I set my intentions, when I am responsible for my beliefs and whatever, and I maybe change my beliefs to whatever around, or train my mind to think differently, whatever, or just co-create and allow spirit as the guide when I'm doing this, but then surrendering the results, because they're going to be whatever they're going to be. And when you can trust spirit and trust your higher power, you really find a lot of good in that regard. So that's what I have to say for Pisces, and really all 12 signs for the solar eclipse in the sign of Aries. The new moon solar eclipse in the sign of Aries happened April 8th of 2024. I'll be back tomorrow. And I think I want to discuss, I think maybe I will talk about how do Scorpios act. It's been a video that I've been wanting to do for a while now, but I haven't just gotten around to it. Video that I planned out back in February, but I think it's time to do that episode on how do Scorpios act, how do they behave, what do they make happen for themselves, how do they, what do they do, what are they all about. So I'll be talking about that in depth in tomorrow's episode. But anyway, thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this. Bye for now.